Hey everybody, welcome. Now this has been a week for books for me. So was it arriving Wednesday morning was this one. Yeah, The Expanse. I love the show. I haven't read the books, but the show is awesome. And they use the dynamics of the show very similar to the Lost Fleet books for combat. Since it's one ship, the Rosinante, up against whoever, it's combined, so they all know what they're doing. Hell, they've done it before. Hell, you've got one Martian pilot, you've got one guy who was in the UN and Navy, the United Nations Navy. You've got a violent dude who's really cool. Thought I'd better say that, or else I'd probably get something told off. And you get a belter, Naomi. Yeah, not really sold on her, but this book is absolutely awesome. Green Ronin Games, and it uses the Age system, the adventure game engine, which is basically, if you've played the Dragon Age stuff, then you'll understand how this works. So I'm using the PDF because it's easier than flipping through the pages of the book. So we go character creation, 10 easy steps. So this is what you get in the book, because you got game basics, the character creation, character traits, equipment and technology, gameplay, spaceships, which gets filled out in Ships of the Expanse, which for me is awesome. You get the future history of Earth, Mars, the Belt, and the outer planets. You get game mastering, the GM's job, adjudicating the rules, challenge tests, rules and role-playing, combat, creating adventures, running the game. Threats, rewards, the Expanse series, planning the series, themes, starting points, series frameworks, plotting the arc, the adventure, to sleep, perhaps to dream. You got your index, you got your character sheet, and your churn tracker. Now we're going to go to the churn tracker. So, as you see, with character successes and ability of drama die, character spends 4 or more stunt points to perform a stunt, fortune points. At the beginning of each adventure, the churn pool is reset starting at 0, adding 1 to the churn pool each time one of the following events occurs. So that's what happens when you do something really cool. When the churn pool reaches 10 and 20, roll 1d6 and consult the churn over table. Okay. The churn pool then continues building. When it reaches 30, an epic effect occurs automatically. No die roll required. The pool resets to 0 and begins building again. Okay, so minor. The characters face a setback, a minor complication that makes things more difficult. For them, examples include challenge. A character automatically fails an ability test or has to make a second follow-up test to complete the task. A crew suffer a moderate consequence on a challenge test. Hazard, brand new hazard appears, or an exciting happens increases by 1 level. Investigation, it takes an additional test or skill or special circumstance to unlock a clue. Social and NPC's attitude shifts one step less favourable, or can be maintained through extra effort from the characters. Okay, so major, the characters have to deal with more serious setbacks, such as challenge. An existing threat is increased to the next rank, normal to elite, etc. See threats chapter of the Expanse RPG. The crew probably has to go through an unexpected challenge test. A new hazard appears, or an existing hazard decreases by 2. If you've been watching the series, yeah, I'd say the Eros incident is probably perfect example for this. The crew suffers a loss to their ship. See losses under space combat. Okay, investigation. Opposing forces are alerted to the investigation and misdirect it to an additional lead or clue must be investigated to progress. Social NPC attitude shifts 2 steps less favorably, so on and so forth. Yeah, that sucks. Now the character sheet looks like this. So you get 2 sheets with like physical appearance, basically the same stuff. So for this, you get 3d6, roll them, add them together, and consult a chart. It goes from -2 to +4, and your ratings go in each of these boxes on the right here, where you see my cursor dingling dangling. So those there, these are forget the conditions. Equipment, yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about experience. Aha, so experience. Now there's I don't think there's I haven't seen a XP table, so that's what we see. Weapons. Now weapons are standardized. So you got your pistols, which attack roll, which would be using your accuracy. Damage will be 2d plus whatever. And you got your talents, degree, talent, name. And you got your spaceship stats. Roll test. And you got your conditions. Okay. So free falling character is effectively weightless in a microgravity or free fall environment. The character can only move with access to handholds or a surface to push off from, or some type of thrust, such as a thruster pack. And once moving, continues to move with the same speed and trajectory unless acted upon to stop change their movement, or stop to change their movement. I would have thought that would have been. But belters, yeah, they're fine with free falling. They can do no problem. It's a semi-species thing. So let's go into character creation. Okay, so we're getting started. So the concept. Whoa. Okay, it's a concept type of character you want to play. You get 3 choices here: Earther, Mars, or Belter. And we'll get to those a little bit later. Okay, abilities determine your core abilities and mental abilities. So that is where your 3d6 come in. So we're going to come down to here, abilities. Tells you everything you need to know about all of your abilities. Oh, please feel free to go back and pause so you can read these at your leisure. So yeah, so you got your dex, perception, strength, and willpower. So here's the table I was on about earlier, going from -2 to +4. Okay, so you roll your 3d6 and you get 13, you get a 2. So that's what happens. Now, ability focus, just if you need to pause it, just pause it and you can read it, okay? Okay, so option 1, arranging abilities. Now, roll your abilities randomly as described under determining abilities. However, you can arrange the results in whatever order you wish. Deciding which result goes with which ability. So if you're going to go for military, then you would probably want to see a character with firearms and dex and something else. Excuse me, I'm just sipping on some tea a minute before my throat dries up a bit. Okay. Now, buying abilities, you've probably just read all that. The character abilities all start at 0, so it's 8. And you get 12 advancements to increase them. Each advancement increases an ability by 1. No ability can be greater than 3. You must spend all 12 of your advancements. The later steps of your character creation can increase your abilities as usual. Like I said, if you've been playing Dragon Age, you'll know, yes, as well as Modern Age. And we've just been joined by Bubbles. Hello. Yeah, you probably don't hear her. She's quiet most of the times. Okay, so stacked traits. So here we go. So accuracy, bows, gunnery, pistols, rifle, throwing. Includes the following focuses. Other focuses may appear in various age, system settings, and source books, and you may include the new ones to suit the game, which does sound fair. So these are all of your ones. So fighting, grappling, heavy weapons, light weapons. So yeah, I do love. When Bobby says, "I don't use sex as a weapon. I use weapons as weapons." Absolutely brilliant. Okay. You can either choose or you can roll. Origin and native gravity. So your normal low gravity. Sorry. Each origin has a native gravity. It's acclimated to microgravity, less than 0.1. Low gravity between 0.1 and 0.8 and so on. Normal gravity is 1G or slightly more or less. And then there's also heavy gravity, 2 or more. Very heavy gravity, 4 or more. 4G or more. So, if current gravity conditions are too heavier for your native gravity, you're hindered. See conditions in chapter 1. Okay, so Belter. You were born and raised in the Black on a station or ship and have lived most, if not all your life, out in the belt and beyond, separated from death by nothing more than the basic support systems your whole life and a vac suit. Yeah, you have learned to be cautious and aware of your environment. As a belter, your character has the following traits. Your native gravity is microgravity. Belters are most comfortable on the float and handling moving in a freefall easily. You automatically have dexterity, freefall, focus. Conservatively, Earth normal gravity is crushingly heavy for a belter. You speak Belter Creole, a combination of loanwords and phrases from various languages, combined with gestures useful for communicating and wearing a vac suit and unable to speak. Belters tend to be tall and willowy as a result of being raised in low or microgravity environments. Regimens of bone density drugs and genetic treatments are needed to keep belters healthy, and some belters have a minor physical abnormalities. Get it right. It's only my third mug of tea. I probably need to switch to caffeine. Yeah, belters are because of that. Well, anyway, so belters often have a diverse ethnic heritage, given the melting pot of the belt with ancestors from many different Earth cultures. So I'm going to roll it down a little bit more. So there you go. That's Earth and Mars. Let me get a little bit. There we go. So there. I'll let you pause for a minute to read Earth and Mars. Okay, so you've got social classes. Outsider, lower class, middle. Do I go there? Yeah. And upper class. Where are we? Determining abilities, that's there. Okay, so here we go. Native origin, gravity, social class, background descriptions. Professions below your class. Okay, that's fine. So, like I said, those of you who have played any other age system, you will be familiar with this. You get your additional stuff. Do I recommend the book? I do, and if you're on Facebook, go and and follow Green Ronin, and they will there's different ages things on a Thursday. It's the Thursage, and they're doing part 2 of the new book that's coming out shortly, which is Beyond the Ring. You heard me right, it's Beyond the Ring. Okay. So professions. Okay, so you get brawler, survivalist, criminal, scavenger, fixer, artist. Just this. Artist, social outsider. I do recommend the book. This is just basically a quick thing. Yeah. There we go. Oh, drive. This is just basically a quick look. It's the right thing to do, Holden said. You don't have the right thing, friend, Miller said. You've got a whole plate full of maybe a little less wrong. So there you go, you got various other things, you got caregiver, talent, inspire, or medic, income. Starting income is based on social class, adjusted by talent or improvements from drive. Over the course of play, your income score may decrease from major expenditures and increase as the character gains wealth and access to resources. So if you're middle class, it's 3 to 5. Yeah, very rich. Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's all the UN and higher-ups, prime ministers and stuff like that. Now, equipment. Essential. Sorry. Okay. So, in the Expanse, characters start out with a certain basic equipment and possessions as follows: ordinary clothing, essential tools or items for the character's profession. If any weapon the character has an associated focus or talent for using. So you've got secondary abilities and fortune. Calculate your character's defense, speed, and toughness. Okay. Goals and ties. An idealist. The most dangerous kind of man there was. Absolutely. You know, so advancement. Do we have? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to get told off for showing you all of this. But anyway, so okay, so your character gains 3 fortune per level. Okay. Where